Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome to Forward Public School e-learning class 10th. Subject chemistry. Chapter number 9 chemical equilibrium. Today's topic is reversible and irreversible reactions and I'm your teacher Mehreen Zafar. Let's start our today's topic. So dear student, first of all we will discuss chemical reaction. The question is what are chemical reaction? So we can define chemical reaction that it is a process in which the physical and chemical properties of original substance changes as a new substance with different physical and chemical properties are formed. Now what are reactants and products? Whenever we are writing any chemical reaction, we combine reactants and as a result products are formed. So the question arises that what are these reactants and products? So reactants are the substances which are consumed in a chemical reaction, while products are the substances which are formed. Or simply we can say when a chemical reaction takes place, it gives rise to new products and that new products are actually called as product in a chemical reaction. For example, here we have a chemical reaction. In this chemical reaction, we can see that hydrogen reacts with oxygen and they give you water having a formula H2O. In this case, hydrogen and oxygen are the reactant substances, so they are called reactants, while water, which is formed after the chemical reaction, is called as product. Now we will discuss types of chemical reaction. So there are many chemical reactions, but here we will only discuss only two, which is related to the topic, that is the chemical equilibrium. First chemical reaction type is called reversible chemical reaction and the second is named as irreversible chemical reaction. We can show this relation through a diagram that chemical reactions are actually divided into two types. One is the reversible chemical reaction, another is the irreversible chemical reaction. Now the question is, what are reversible reaction? By definition, a reversible reaction is one in which the conversion of reactants to products and the conversion of products to reactants occur at the same time. Means at the same time the reactants react together and form the product, and after a certain time the product again decompose and form the respective reactants. Or we can define it as a chemical reaction in which the product can react to reform the reactant. So in this case, the reformation of the reactant takes place. Now, how can we represent a reversible reaction in a chemical reaction? Usually they are represented by double-sided arrows. For example, here we have a general reaction. When A reacts, they give you the product B and C. So here A is the reactant and B and C are the product. And in between the reactants and product, we can see that here is the reversible reaction, which means that A reactant converted into product B and C, while after a certain time the product B and C react back and form the reactant A. For example, here we can see the example that HgO, which is called mercury oxide. Mercury oxide decomposes into mercury and oxygen. Again, after a certain time, these two reactants combine back and give you mercury oxide. So, here it is shown by, we get the information from the reversible reaction. We have another example. When nitrogen reacts with hydrogen, they give you the product ammonia. And in between the reactant and product, we have reversible arrows, so which give us the information that after certain concentration formation of the ammonia, they may decompose back into the same reactants. Now we will discuss irreversible reaction. As the name shows, irreversible, that the reaction will not move back. It means that the reaction will go in a single direction. So we can define irreversible reaction as a reaction that can only occur in one direction, that is from reactants to product. Or we can have a second statement of the irreversible reaction definition, that reaction in which the entire amount of the reactants is converted into product, and such type of chemical reaction is termed as irreversible reactions. Now here is the presentation of the irreversible reaction. We can represent the irreversible reaction by a single arrow between the reactants and products. Here you can see that the reactants, once react together, they will be converted into products. So it means that the products, once it form, will not be converted back into the same reactants. So therefore, they are called irreversible reactions. Here we have the example. First of all, we will discuss the general example. When A and B reactants react together, they will give you the product D. So in between the reactants and product, we can see a single irreversible arrow. Now here is the example. When sodium reacts with water, they give you sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gases evolve. It means from the arrow we get the information that this reaction is irreversible reaction. We have a second example. When magnesium reacts with oxygen, they will give you magnesium oxide. Again, this is the example of irreversible reaction. Here is the end of today's lecture. Thank you for your attention. Stay home, stay safe.